Hello. Thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Missy. Open quote. In the late summer of 1994, at the age of 18, I was involved in a bad car accident where it left me with a head injury and a term of lost memory. It took me a whole year to finally gain most of my memory back. To be truthfully, there are some things that I still don't remember. I was told that some would come back later in time on its own. The most recent that came back at remembering one thing was several months ago. On the top of my head, on the left side, there is a Y shape where it was stitched in total of 53 stitches. I went through what you can or could call it a near death experience. It took me a long time before I finally felt ready to be open and more comfortable to talk or share about it. When I experienced the near death experience was when I first saw a small, white, fluffy spot in the distance as it grew bigger and closer like some tunnel, but it was white and bright. The feeling during the near death experience is remarkable and is hard to describe. I can only tell in words, but it is not how it is to be felt while on earth. The true feeling was amazing, where you don't feel any pain, anxiety, worry, suffering, and any type of worse feelings that you experienced out in your lifetime. It was peacefully joy, no pain, and best feelings of all that you could even ever imagine. The best feelings ever. As the tunnel grew bigger and closer, I saw a small child in the distance as the child was walking toward me. I recognized the child, and her name was Teena. Teena is a sister of mine who passed away years ago in the fire at our home at the age of 5 on the day of 21st of December in the year of 1977. Of course, it is impossible to remember her because I was only a year old when she passed away, but I have always seen pictures of her and would never forget how beautiful she was, and even she looks a lot like me when I was a very young girl. As Tina was approaching me and started to talk, the funny thing is that she signed to me the whole time. I was in awe because she never knew American Sign Language and she died before I became deaf at the age of 18 months old due to spinal meningitis. It is amazing how they really do know how to communicate when they never knew any other language while living on the earth. As the conversation went on, she told me it was not my time and that I need to return to Earth to our family. At first, I wasn't sure why she said it, and I felt that I didn't want to leave her. She repeatedly said that it was not my time and that I need to go back. I asked her why is it that I need to go back and why was it that I see her? As her face glowed with the most beautiful smile, she had told me I was involved in a bad car accident and that I was severely hurt. She pointed down. As I turned my head back to look down, I saw myself lying on the bed at the hospital in the emergency room. It was shocking seeing my face was full of blood as my flesh was asleep, struggling to stay alive. I could see several doctors and nurses were working on me, keeping me alive. I turned my head back facing Tina and told her, "No, I do not want to go back. I want to go with you." Tina, with her gentle smile, said that I will, one of these days, return back, and those good things are about to happen in my life, where I will have a good life. Then she told me to tell our parents that she's okay, is happy, and for them to stop blaming themselves for her death, and to our mother not to feel bad because she was not able to keep her promise, and it was not her fault. The promise that our mother made to Tina was that she will always be safe and that our mother would not allow anything bad to happen to Tina. She told me to tell them that she loves them dearly and not to be sad anymore. She told me to take care of my parents and that she loves everyone in the family. The time was running out and it was starting to fade away. We told each other that we loved each other and told each other bye as she started walking back to where she first came from, and then it fades away. Here I come back to where I was at lying on the bed. I woke up screaming in a horrible pain as there was some confusion not knowing what had happened. At the time, my fiancée was asked to come in the room to where I was, as the doctors and nurses did not understand what I was saying. I was saying, "Where was my sister?" and I wanted to know where she was. My fiancé thought I was asking for my older sister, Tammy, my eldest sister, and he said, "She's on her way." I went to sleep as I was drugged. When my sister Tammy arrived, my fiancé woke me up and told me that my sister was here. I reached out for her then. I did not recognize Tammy and said, "This is not the little sister, the little girl." Tammy saw what I said. She burst into tears and knew whom I was talking about. Tammy had told me that everything will be okay and that our dad is on the way. A few minutes later, here our dad arrived, and the first thing I told him was that she's okay, is happy, not to be sad, and that it wasn't any of his fault. Our dad stood there and looked at Tammy. Tammy had told him what she had suspected when it happened. Then our dad burst into tears, cried for a whole half hour, and comforted me. End of quotes. And there's some questions here. Did you seem to enter into some unearthly world? Unfamiliar, strange place. I only saw the tunnel part, and it was like I was in between, and I didn't see anything else besides a bright light. What was your religion prior to your experience? Liberal, was never much of religious, but do believe in God. And has your religious practices changed? Yes, believe in God more and wanting a relationship with God. And what's your religion now? Moderate, been around Christian people more often and share verses, Bible study. Did you have a change in your values and beliefs? Believe in God more and in wanting a better relationship with God. Do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? I can feel something wasn't right or feel something was off, then that's when I knew. And did you have any knowledge of near-death experiences prior to your experience? Yes, I knew it actually happened and that the whole of me inside, my personality has changed. It was definitely real. It seemed so real, and I knew it wasn't some dream or some type of dream. And that's the end of the questions. That was a nice, warm, touching, a little heartbreaking story experience. Thank you for listening.